Dancing with the Stars fans, you asked for it. We were able to make it happen. Bonner Bolton is here. Thank you so much for being here.
It's an honor. Thank you for having me.
We've been trying to get him in our studio all season long, and here he is now, world champion bull rider,
Yes,
Dancing
ma'am.
with the Stars, almost semifinalist. Only it had happened. And just all around good American cowboy. Look at these boots he's wearing. Look at this denim. You came in full cowboy gear today.
That's right. This is me.
This is you.
It is what it is.
Well, that's what I love, right? Because it really is authentically you. I mean, you are that guy. Grew up in Texas, bull rider. This is who you really are.
Yes, ma'am. This is the real deal. What you see is what you get.
Say yes, ma'am, more, please. I love hearing this. Guys in LA don't talk to women that way. It's wonderful. I am sure that you guys have a million questions for Bonner because you've been asking for him to come in. So leave them on our Facebook page right now. I will get them here on my phone and ask him. And of course, I have a lot of questions too. So my friend, let's dive into this week.
Let's do it.
You went through a lot this week. How do you feel about the way that you left Dancing with the Stars?
I really had a lot of fun on that journey, and I found out a lot about myself, how far I could push myself and how much I could take. And, I was disappointed with the way they showed my package with me and Sharna. It was like, maybe 5 minutes of the entire week we had, and it was 30 minutes towards the end of our practice. And they made it look like I walked out on an entire practice that was actually a 6-hour-long practice that was scheduled an hour longer than I even asked for. So I want to set the record straight on that, and also the fact that me and Sharna get along really well, 99% of the time. And in fact, there wasn't even a problem that night. We both got frustrated and just decided to put it down, and it was fine. When you keep, I gave her an analogy. When you are training a horse on the ranch and you keep whipping on it and beating it, to learn something that it's not ready to learn or can't really comprehend or just doesn't know how, the horse is just going to get frustrated and mad, and you keep spurring on it to do what you want it to, it's just going to end up flipping out on you.
So you were a frustrated horse.
Yeah, and I just needed to have a little cool down. Her too, she was frustrated with me, and just like when you're training a horse, you can't get mad at it. You got to just let it take its time to learn.
Why were you frustrated at that point?
I was just frustrated because she put the entire routine on me, basically in about 30 minutes of practice at the beginning, and then took the rest of the practice to show the troops, the troop dancers, the backup guys, what they needed to do, and came back to me 3 hours later expecting me to know it all. So I definitely am not a pro dancer and don't know how to retain that much choreography that fast. And I don't feel like it's fair to expect that much of me, and that's why I got frustrated and told her not to get mad at me. So,
yeah.
But she's a great coach, and I don't know if it was just pressure from the show for her to, maybe strike up a little controversy between us, or if she genuinely felt frustrated with me for not learning that. But somehow we all forgot that I do have a broke neck and I'm not a pro dancer that day.
Right. I mean, you've been through so much, and I love hearing you say that you want to set the record straight, because really the show is about who you are.
It is, and they didn't paint a very fair picture as I left, and I felt like all the other contestants that left before me had a great package their last week, and they were painted to be the people that they are. And I think Dancing with the Stars was a little harsh on me in the way they talked to me that night, and the package they showed. Also with the trio dance, they kind of made me look like I was, saying some suggestive comments towards the girls, and there's the hand gate crotch grab thing, which I'd also like to set straight. As you can plainly see in the video, I was looking the other way at the TV monitor. Sharna backs up into me. I don't even know where my hand's at. In fact, when she grabs it, I look down and my expression's like, oh shit, like I definitely didn't mean to do that.
Yeah.
But I have all the respect in the world for Sharna. We are great friends. I loved, her pushing me, and she made me a better person and really helped me succeed to the level I got to on that show, just helping me stay positive and driven. And I appreciate that big time.
I love hearing that. How did it make you feel that who you were was not, in your mind, accurately portrayed?
It made me feel frustrated because I represent not only myself but my culture as cowboys, and you know that's not who we are. And definitely we have respect for every woman, and for the most part we all try to hold ourselves to a really high standard in that old cowboy tradition and cowboy way, and that's to treat every lady and woman with respect. And yeah, I think they wanted to make me look about as bad as they could at my last week there. And, you know, some of the playful comments that were tossed around in the room when we were doing our trio dance came from both directions, the girls and me. They just only showed my end, you know, and we were all playing with each other and having a good time in the practice. And it was a sexy dance, too, with a sexy song. And so things were said at practice that were, you know, every week they could choose to make everyone look really bad if they wanted to, but they have full control of editing, so that's...
Why do you think they wanted to make you look bad?
I'm not really sure, and I don't really know why the comments that were made were so disrespectful towards me when I was being judged on the dance floor, because I'm probably the least advantaged contestant on that show who's shown the most improvement, and I've worked just as hard, if not harder, than any contestant on that dance floor to be where I was. And
yeah, I mean, you brought up, like you said, what they had said to you. Actually, if we want to play just a little clip, this is what Len had to say to you. The judges were being really harsh. So here's the judges kind of being harsh to you, I thought, on Monday night.
And this was all too stiff and starch. Listen, you've got frustrated. Please don't blame the judges, blame the viewers, because really, you've gone a bridge too far. I'm sorry, but you should have been... Well, and of course, you know, you get a happy ending, it's just where you stop the story.
How did you feel hearing that?
it's just all backwards and twisted because, number one, I wasn't frustrated because I was still on the show. I was frustrated because Sharna got mad at me for not knowing my steps in that package. So they misinterpreted that for all the viewers to look at me one way, and just to flat out be so disrespectful to say I don't deserve to be there anymore is really a cut down to me, and you know, I don't respect it. I don't respect him or any of those judges on that panel except for Julianne. She's the only one that gave a real honest answer and fair critique, I felt like, all season towards me, and she wasn't always favorable towards me, but I felt like she was fair. I think after my third dance there, pretty much all those judges had wrote me off and gave me pretty harsh scores all season.
What did you wish that they saw or understood that they weren't?
The fact that I'm not the other contestants. I'm not an NFL football player with 1,100% health and about to be picked up for, you know, an NFL draft that's in amazing shape, that is extremely athletic. I'm an old, broke-down cowboy who broke his neck. I'm not a performer who's been performing my whole life on the stage. I'm just an athlete, pro bull rider, and extreme sports athlete. And
do you feel like the competition is unfair because you, who have been through this massive trauma to your body, you're judged by the same panel in the same ways in comparison to these athletes and gymnasts and Olympians?
Yeah, it's, you know, I remember watching the show when it first came on, and it used to be about people who had no prior dance experience and background, which made me amped to go on the show because that's what I remembered. And getting there, it was so much different. You know, obviously there's all these pro dancers, and they're all incredible, and I made friends with all of them and really enjoyed and was inspired by being around them. But yeah, I don't know when their fan base and the judges got so harsh on contestants that didn't know how to dance, because to me, I thought that's what the show was about.
Yeah. Well, the fans loved you, definitely.
Yeah.
I mean, you made it through week 8, and when Len was making those comments, everybody in the room was booing him. You were such a gentleman, I always thought, when you were standing there and listening to the judges' critique. You were always so polite, and the way that you responded to them. What was going through your mind? What did you really want to say to them?
I don't know if it would be appropriate to say at any time, but I felt like it was a really personal cut down to me, just because of how harsh they'd been all season, and then, you know, they coordinate with the producers and ABC for how these packages are shown. They see all this stuff before it's shown. They decide what they're going to say by the time the dance is already there, before it even happens. And I know for a fact that they obviously had some kind of personal thing towards me, which I don't understand. Maybe they think I'm a, you know, major Trump supporter or something like that. I don't know what gives them that personal feeling towards me to make me look like that in front of America. But number one, I'm just me out here trying to do what they hired me to come do, which is dance. And I gave them my all, and they showed zero respect or appreciation for it pretty much after the third week, I think, on for the next 5 dances. And then, you know, I've been nothing but respectful in return, and just try to take each critique and put that into my dance every week, and to continue to get that harsh judgment from them. Really, yeah, I don't think I can say how I really feel.
Okay. Any emotions that you'd use? Words to describe those emotions?
Yeah, it made me angry. I was instantly angry, and I tried to go back and use that fuel for the next dance and do my best. But yeah, they kept continuing to say how stiff I was all season. Well, I would love for them to break their neck and see how it feels to have that metal in their body. Because number one, let me just explain this to everyone. When you have a square metal frame in the main central pivot point of your body that makes your whole body rotate and function, from your brain to your motor skills to your speech to everything, it's extremely hard to make yourself do those dance moves and be coordinated. And especially when you lost your coordination 100% only 16 months ago, and you've rehabilitated yourself back to health where you can run, swim, and do yoga. You know, it's a real intimidating challenge to think that you can dance. And I never came on the show because I thought I could dance. It was just because I wanted to find out if I could.
Yeah.
And that's what they wanted. So it's really self-contradicting for them to be so harsh, I feel like.
We all loved watching your journey, and you did go through such, again, an incredible accident. Sharna has been here before and told us that people didn't realize how much pain you were in this whole competition.
Yeah.
How much pain were you in? How much pain are you in now, and how do you deal with that pain?
Yeah, well, you know, the gristle and things in my neck that this metal moves around, and like for me having to turn my head and flex and be quick doing it and put myself in all these positions, it really, really put me through a lot of pain. It was breaking up a lot of scar tissue that had built up in there. Like I said, I'd gotten to the point where I could do hot yoga and swim and run and do stuff like that. But there's a lot of difference between easing down into a yoga pose and whipping yourself into a dance move. And yeah, it was all new to my body, and it really pushed the limits to where my body feels like going. And I don't have the best balance. I don't have the best coordination. And yeah, it put me through a lot of pain, and there was times where they had me jumping off of stuff or catching her in a way. In fact, like our last dance, we were practicing this drag move that we didn't even put in because the day of the show, this last Monday, I told her I was feeling really, really bad, and I felt sick to my stomach and felt like my neck was out, and things are constantly shifting, and I'm constantly having to get worked on and do therapy around the show just to be okay to show up.
Wow. On a scale of 1 to 10, how would you name the pain?
Yeah, it was probably at a 6 to a 7
Wow.
most of the time, sometimes at an 8.
So moving forward from here, I mean, for the rest of your life, how do you deal with that? Is it, like, can I ask, do you just take a Tylenol? I mean, do you take pain meds? Do you, like, what do you do from here? It's crazy what you've been through.
I go to the spa and the steam room a lot, and I try to use like cold water and really soak myself and plunge myself in the ice cold water, and it really helps take out the inflammation. And I'll get in the hot tub and rotate back and forth, and it really helps your red blood cell level reproduce itself and heal.
When they told you were paralyzed, right?
Yeah.
So at what point did you think, I might be able to walk again, I might be able to move again? How did you get to that place? Was it something doctors told you?
It's just something I wouldn't accept. They told me that there was 1 to 5% chance I'd ever walk, and I knew laying face up before they even said that, when I was paralyzed, that I just kept having faith and believing that that wasn't my destiny.
Wow. Do you feel like the show accurately portrayed what you'd been through with the accident and your journey with that?
Yeah, I do appreciate the way they told my story. There was, things about how they told my story that I didn't really, appreciate. They didn't let me have much say in the music that was chosen, or, how some of the choreography was done. Like, even though I'm not a dancer, I do want to be able to have input on how they portray my story, on the dance floor. But regardless, I wasn't mad at it. I just would have liked to have had some more input with songs and things that were chosen.
What would it have been? More country music?
Yeah, you would have heard maybe some Dwight Yoakam in there.
Oh, I love it. I got to get to the fan questions because so much love is coming in for you. I mean, I'm not surprised. But Patty says, so proud of you for doing Dancing with the Stars. You were a total gentleman. Maggie says, we never got to hear you sing and play the guitar. Is singing something that you will do in the future? Is that a professional move you might make?
I would love to explore that, because I have 2 brothers that play guitar really well. My little brother is like a wizard on the guitar. And
listen how he says guitar. That's
on the guitar. And that's something I've done since I was 12 years old, and I've always played around with it for a hobby. But I think I would like to explore getting a little more serious about it in my new free time, hopefully. And
have you written any songs?
Yeah, definitely, and I would love to share it with America eventually.
Well, you got the name for it, Bonner Blue Bolton. Oh my God. Would this be a solo career or maybe a group with your brothers?
It would be a group with me and my little brother, at least, for sure, and some friends that are
the songs that you've written.
Musicians.
What is that inspiration coming from? Is it songs about your accident, relationships?
Just my story and my life, and the adventures I've been on, being able to rodeo, and friends, and just experiences and things that I've been through.
Okay, you've been through a lot.
Yeah.
Know you've done modeling as well. Is more modeling in your future? Any acting at all?
I'm really excited about that. I definitely am so grateful, and this is a good opportunity to thank IMG for picking me up through PBR. They came in and bought our sport along with UFC and gave me this opportunity after I broke my neck. In fact, before I was even out of my neck brace, they came in and said, hey, we like your story. We see that you're determined to get up and move, and see how you're just so driven, and definitely want to try to use your story to help inspire the rest of America too. And it's been a real honor, and I definitely want to move forward, maybe do some acting, some more modeling. I just did a shoot for V-Man with Mario Testino. Thanks to Mario.
Wow, that's a big photographer to work with.
Really,
that's awesome.
Yeah, and it was a real cool experience, and there's some big things I'm not able to announce now that are coming up.
Of course,
about
you're
to
not
come out.
able to. Okay, acting-wise, I mean, movies. What is this really something that could happen?
It's definitely in the model direction, but I would love to move more into the acting side of things.
Because you did a little bit with that Scott Eastwood movie, right?
Definitely, yeah. That was a cool experience. I was Scott's main stunt double for The Longest Ride.
Yeah.
Did all the riding parts, but it was cool getting to know him and just be a part of that experience.
Have you seen him since you've been back in LA?
Just one time for the premiere of the movie, but
cool.
It'd be cool to see him again and catch up.
Well, Maggie is saying, can you please give us a little country concert on your Instagram at least, or something soon? Can you sing a little note for us right now? What have you put on the spot?
No, I better wait.
Save it for the album.
Give him something to look forward to.
Stacy says, I was surprised you even took this whole experience on with your neck injuries. Bravo to you. Rosanna says, proud of you, Bonner. You're a winner in my eyes. Diana says, job well done. So many people are saying that they were not a fan of how you left the show and the situation and that Len was too harsh on you. Heather says, you are amazing and a true inspiration. Hold your head high. People are saying that all of the judges need to be replaced. This is how rabid your fan base is.
Well, thank you all the fans for those awesome compliments. I really appreciate it. And you know what? Those judges are great judges. They just, I think they got a little out of control for that particular instance with me on the show. And I don't know if it was because I didn't want to play into exactly everything the way they wanted me to. I know Sharna has an incredible fan base, and so do I, and it's hard for me to believe it was off of lack of votes that we got voted off. But
you think it was something else?
I do know we got really harsh scores like the whole time we were there, so that had its part to play in it, and that was all on the judges' behalf in the show.
So you're saying you think that they wanted to move you off the show?
I don't know if they did or not for sure, but I know I definitely stood up for myself more than once and how I was portrayed and on and off camera, and just maybe it wasn't what they wanted. I don't know.
What do you think they want?
Well, it's reality TV, but unfortunately they don't want to show things as real as it comes all the time, and things are scripted a little bit, you know, and it's not, I don't know. I mean, I think they do the best job to portray everyone as real as they can and tell their story, but sometimes the producers want to push for things that are not exactly you know, and I definitely want myself to be portrayed as myself.
It's hard, you know, it's a TV show, so you got to have the drama, you got to keep the fans interested, but you're there to dance. You and Sharna, you said that Sharna was, you know, such a great coach to you. How is you guys' relationship now? There was that time in the beginning when everybody was, you know, thinking you were maybe dating. How are things now?
No, we're great friends. This experience has put both of us through a lot, you know, and we've remained professional throughout the entire thing, you know. It's not ever crossed the line of dating or...
Did you ever want it to cross the line?
You know, her and I were definitely intrigued by each other, her being the Australian, you know, the spicy Australian with the accent, and she's a beautiful girl and a great person, but, you know, I think we're definitely better off friends, and it's going to stay that way.
Well, I don't want to shock you, but also a lot of fans are asking if you're single. I think they might be interested in you. Are you single? Are you dating anyone?
I'm definitely 100% single.
There you go. I think it was Laura and many other people that asked that. So, okay. Well, what are you looking for in a woman? What would it take?
I like a girl that's outgoing and got a lot going on for herself, and, you know, but not too into herself, and she's got to be independent. But, you know, someone who's positive and beautiful on the inside and out.
Guys, tweet him. I don't know. He's a winner. Maybe he'll respond. I want to go back for a second to the fact that I think was it IMG came while you were still in the brace?
Yes.
Man, that is so cool. So they came in and they wanted you to start modeling already at that point?
Well, not at that point. They waited till I was in good health to really try to get up and meet people and be introduced to the industry and start going to some dinner parties and shaking hands and, you know, going to special events. But I think it was maybe 9 months after my wreck, they started inviting me up to New York, inviting me to the office to meet people, and I think it was my first or second dinner party. I met, you know, by that time I met 2 or 3 of the best photographers in the world, and they all wanted to shoot me, and so Stephen Klein, Bruce Weber, and Mario Testino shot me, so that's like, you know, some major top guns in the industry.
Different kind of guns than you're probably used to back in Texas. So different kind of shooting, okay.
Yeah, it's different shooting and different guns.
What do all your friends and family think about this modeling kind of LA lifestyle that you're now moving forward into?
I think I get some, you know, mixed judgment about it for sure, but my closest friends and family are all really supportive. They're all just happy I'm alive and can do anything after my wreck, and this just happens to be the thing that presented itself, and a great opportunity to help our sport and our culture last longer and go further by getting it out there throughout the world, throughout, you know, France and London. I've gotten to go and travel and, you know, wear my cowboy hat walking around Paris and you know, the streets of London, and introduce people back to the Wild West. You know?
Literally. I mean, it was so cool to see your family on the show, see them in the crowd, see them in your packages. They just seem so supportive and just like the best. How did you feel? It had to be hard, though, kind of watching them in some of those moments when they're tearing up, talking about what you'd been through. How did that make you feel?
Oh, for sure. It was really hard, you know, especially the week we went back to Most Memorable Year and having to rehash all of that. Sometimes you know, Dancing with the Stars dug a little deep for me to tell my story at times, and it was hard, you know, the way they wanted to pull it out of me, you know, and it was hard that they wanted to keep kind of rehashing that. I'm not sure why exactly, but, you know, I thought 1 week was enough, but they wanted to do it again on this last week, which is, you know, it's really cool the way Sharna tried to tell my story, and she did a great job. But yeah, it's super fresh. It was 16 months ago, and I don't know anyone that could go through that wouldn't have a hard time dealing with it a little bit still.
Where are you at right now in terms of, especially after having just gone through the show, where are you at with dealing mentally and emotionally with your accident?
I'm in a good place. You know, it definitely helped having to go through that and say it on the show and talk about it. It helped having to be pushed to learn and understand my wreck even more so that I could tell the story or have it be told the right way. You know, in some ways it was like therapy for me to do that, but it was also really hard and a struggle, and there was times I cried, you know, and broke down a little bit. You know, like when I lost my career doing that, I dedicated 19 and a half years of my life to it. I sacrificed a lot, much like I did for this show, just to be on this show. So to not feel appreciated when you walk away is hard, but I know my sport appreciated me, and that's what means the most. You know, the thing of where I come from and who I am and my background, I have the world of support from my sport.
Yeah,
so.
And the fans loved you. And I got to tell you, I loved seeing those moments when you did tear up a little bit on the show, because it just showed how real you were and how hard you were working for this. How did you feel when you had to watch back, though, yourself in a package tearing up in rehearsal?
It was hard. I think it was even harder to see my dad's reaction when they interviewed him and how he broke down a little bit, because me and my dad are a lot alike. You know, he taught me all I know. He was the pro bull rider that I looked up to. You know, that's why I started riding bulls. He was a cowboy, and all my family's cowboys on the ranch, and you know, just to watch an old tough cowboy like him break down doesn't happen very much, but it got to me a little bit. I had to pull it together right before that dance and get it in gear.
That's how much he loves you, though. That's what was so cool about that moment.
No, it was super special, and like I said, when you do something for that long and it kind of gets jerked out from under you at your prime, it's a lot to swallow. But
how would you describe that?
I don't think I can really describe it. It's like maybe being married to someone for a long time and that person dying. You know, I felt like a little part of myself died, really, when that happened.
So at this point, will there ever be bull riding again? Is it still a discussion for you physically?
It's really been ruled out for me for the most part, as long as the doctors are gonna not clear me. You know, my sport won't let me back. So it's really been up in the air since my wreck, but they're still not willing to clear me, just because of the fragile nature of where the metal sits. It's fused between my C2 and C3 vertebrae, and it's like if you were to drop a glass bottle on the pavement, it would shatter, you know, and it's really fragile.
How do you feel about where you move forward from here, having to leave behind what you spent your whole life doing that first 20 years?
You know, it's cool because I'm not really having to leave it behind completely. I'm getting to do things now that are helping me promote the sport, and it helps promote me at the same time with my career moving forward into whatever else I'm doing, you know, and I'm getting to be an ambassador for PBR. This weekend I get to go to El Dorado Days in Las Vegas.
Is it El Dorado or Hell Dorado Days?
Hell Dorado.
Hell Dorado Days. Oh my
Yeah.
God. Tell everybody what
there.
that is.
It's just a big country western festival they have in Las Vegas every year, and PBR comes out. They do a big event out there. A lot of the fans come. It's a great event, and the top bulls in the sport and top athletes, and it's a great time. It's full of action. It's
How wild are you going to get in Vegas, Bonner?
I'm going to try to rein it in as much as possible. I'll be there doing things for PBR, promoting and marketing, and I'll be there for Miss USA. I think I'll be getting to go behind the scenes and check that out. So
you just started smiling a little bit bigger on Miss USA. What are you excited about with that?
Oh man, I can't wait. I don't know what's in store for me, but it sounds good.
What would be bad about it? Beautiful women in Vegas. When you do get to do things like that, I mean, it has to be a little bit emotional that you're not out there, you know, on the bull yourself.
Yeah,
but how does it make you feel?
That's a good question. It's hard when you go to these events only a year away from your accident, and you're still not able to be in the locker room, or you can go back there, but you're not back there for the same reason as all your friends are, and you know, you see them putting their gear up and joking around, you know, talking about, you know, who's getting on this bull or that, you know, and they're all getting pumped and hyping each other up. It's something I miss, you know. It's that camaraderie between your teammates in the locker room. If you're on a football team or a baseball team, you miss all your teammates, and it's just something, you're out there going through life or death every weekend with your buddies, so you all get pretty close, and you know everybody pretty well. You're on each other's side, you know, and cheer each other on.
I'm sure they'll have a lot of questions for you about LA life and Dancing with the Stars. What do you feel like walking away from the competition? What has changed about you? What's your takeaway from the competition? From dancing?
I think it's really strengthened me from my accident. I've definitely regained a lot of mobility in my body and just my range of motion. I've gained a lot of motion back, so I really thank Sharna for helping push me as far as she did.
Yeah.
And as far as a person goes, I think it's helped make me a better person and just try to, you know myself even better and be aware of myself and the things I can improve as an individual, or
a better person how?
That I'm lacking, you know, just in my day-to-day walk and how I hold myself and, you know, my goals and aspirations.
Yeah. I think this competition is impossible to walk away from without. Is it intense? Is it more intense than you thought it would be before you went into it?
It is, you know, and I know how much I can take now and how far I can push myself, and I think that's maybe the most important thing I'm walking away from, because they put me through a lot, you know, and I don't think they realize just how much they did put me through, or how much I put myself through by allowing even the dance moves I did out there to be placed on me. And in the routine, it was just extremely exhausting for me. I got pushed through 5 hours of practice a lot of times, 5.5, sometimes 6, sometimes 8 hours, like between camera blocking and rehearsals after camera blocking, and, you know, media in between that and different appointments that are scheduled for you. It's just like, sometimes I wouldn't eat till midnight, you know, and maybe eat only once or twice a day just because I'm that busy.
Any regrets?
No regrets for sure. If they asked me to do it over again, I probably would have to say no, just for the sake of my body. But you know, if I'd never done it and they asked me to do it again, I would sure enough have the same answer.
Yes.
Knowing what I went through, I would put myself through it again if I hadn't already done it before.
Well, we all loved watching you. Will you be back for any more episodes? We've only got a couple weeks left, but could you come back for the finale or anything?
Yeah, they'll have the full cast back for the finale, so everyone will get to see me one last time.
Yes!
Get to do my favorite dance from the season. So
what's it going to be?
It's a secret.
See, he's learned,
you guys.
Guys.
Will have
He's
to
learned.
Tune in.
This media training he's learned. Anthony wants to know, would you consider doing the live tour, Dancing with the Stars?
I think they'd have to pull out their checkbook on that one. Write me a big one.
He's gotten very smart living here in LA as well. Okay. Kim says, can't wait for Hell Dorado Days. She just wants to know, like, in a couple words, how would you describe Hell Dorado Days? What can fans expect?
It's going to be full of action, exciting, lots of fun, great music, and just look forward to a good time.
A good time. That's all we want, isn't it? Kayla says, after last week, I kind of want to ship Bonner and Normani. Was there any chemistry between you and Normani?
You know what? I love that girl. She is just so beautiful inside and out. When she walks in the room, the whole room lights up. And she is such a sweetheart and an encouragement to me the whole time I was there. She's obviously, you know, the top performer that came on this show, who's out there killing it in her real life every day.
Yeah.
I respect her and admire her a whole lot, and I really am thankful she asked me to be a part of her number. That was super special.
Notice how he avoided the question. Is there any chemistry between you and Normani?
You know what? I think she is a beautiful lady, and if she asked me out on a date, I would sure enough go.
Okay. So why don't you just ask her out on a date?
Well, yeah, that's the real thing. If I ask her out on, Normani, will you go on a date with me?
Bonner, I love this. Is this real? Can this really happen?
I don't know. We'll see what she says. Hopefully she's watching.
Normani watches all of our Facebook Lives.
Well, Normani, it would be an honor to go on a date with you, ma'am.
I love this. My heart is fluttering right now. Real magic is happening on Facebook Live. Oh, okay, great. Well, Angie wants to know, maybe you've just answered this. Who are you rooting for now? Who do you want to see win?
I want to see her win. She's definitely my favorite now. She had me be a part of her number, so I'm rooting for you, girl.
Who do you think will win?
I think she'll win, honestly. She's a beast on that dance floor.
Yeah.
She owns it, and owns it better than anyone else left in the competition. So,
which celebrity will you walk away from this competition having become the closest to?
probably Rashad. Me and Rashad really hit it off, and I got along great with David too, and everyone that was left on the show. Nick, he was a cool guy. Getting to meet him, I respect all of them so much. But me and Rashad got to hang out a little more than the rest of them, and got to go out a little bit and enjoy some guy time. And
some guy time. What does guy time entail?
That's a secret. So many secrets.
I was hoping when I asked you, who you got closest with, you were going to say Normani.
No, I didn't really get to hang out with her much. I think her schedule was pretty busy flying to Asia and back.
Oh, yeah, just Asia. Well, are you going to come back to LA and live here for a little while after Vegas this weekend and after the show's over?
I really hope to have some future work out here, hopefully maybe in the film industry, who knows, and get to come back and be a part of LA a little bit here and there. I would love to live here part-time. You know
who else lives in here and works in the entertainment industry is Normani. So that's so interesting that you would be in the same industry and everything. Of all of your dances this season, what was your favorite one that you've already done?
I'd really have to say that last one we did, because
the sexy one?
No, the
first one.
That was a lot of fun too, actually.
Sure.
But if I was to say I had a favorite dance with Sharna, it would be the tango, the Argentine tango.
Why?
We did, because I just like the way she told that story, from my pain, the pain I was going through. It really recreated the reality of what I am dealing with, and it was, crazy that the judges were so oblivious to everything, the way they spoke to me that night, and especially for what the dance meant and how it was interpreted. And it basically told the story of the pain I'm dealing with and going through. So to be so harsh on me, I think it blows my mind, and I can see why the fans are, pretty frustrated about it. Even if they're not my fans, it was kind of a crappy way to put it.
Is that the thing that you wish they'd understood more, is how much pain you were in?
No, just how the challenge was so great for me opposed to the other contestants. We all faced our challenges with this competition. In fact, if you interview any of the former contestants from this show, I don't think you're going to hear that it was easy for any of them. But when you have something so debilitating in your spine, like metal, that is locked down from vertebrae to vertebrae like a square metal box, you just can't simply rotate the same way you used to could, and your mobility's not the same, and your flexibility is dang sure not the same, and you have to use your head and your spine for everything you do in dance. So yeah, it wasn't fair to compare me to the rest of the contestants. I think every contestant should be judged on their own personal progress, not, well, you didn't look like this person or this person, or you're supposed to look like this. No, I'm supposed to look as good as I can look, not like you would look, you know?
I was a little surprised on Monday. I felt like the judges brought up other celebrities a lot in their critiques of different celebrities.
Yeah.
That kind of surprised me.
Yeah, it's definitely not about comparing yourself against any of the others. It's just about, I think, the progress each individual can make and how sharp they can become in their own dance moves. And I think I made a hell of a lot of progress from week 1 to week 8. I knew nothing about dancing before I came. I'd only done a little two-stepping in the honky-tonk before that, you know. And that's my dance experience leading up to this show, so I'm pretty proud of myself.
As you should be. How badly did you want to win?
I wanted to win really bad. I'm a natural-born competitor and love to win, you know. That's who doesn't like to win, but I wasn't there to win, mostly was there to tell my story, and I gave it my all every dance, every week, every practice. I skipped hardly any practices. I went to almost every one, and the one that I walked out on was 30 minutes before it was over. And so the truth is I worked my ass off for this show and did all I could, and I really am grateful for the experience. I learned a lot.
What do you feel like you learned most from Sharna?
I learned just to persevere, you know, and to keep up the good fight and keep positive. You know, things are a struggle for everyone. She's been through her own personal struggles in life, and I admire her for the way that she's come out and made the person she is of herself, and just to continue to believe in yourself. You know, she's reminded me of that over and over, and to remind me that my story is incredible and that I shouldn't be down on myself because of this or that, and just to remember to keep my head up because I've overcome a lot so far.
It still blows my mind. I mean, 16 months, about a year, and you weren't walking, and then it's just crazy. Jamie wants to know, if you had to pick another pro to be partnered with, who would you have chosen?
Man, that's hard because I definitely, you know, I picked Sharna, and they gave me Sharna, which I'm really grateful for.
Oh, you said you wanted her.
Yeah, they gave all the dancers an option to pick different, you know, dancers, and
Why'd you pick Sharna?
I really thought she would be the perfect fit since she had danced with guys who were handicapped in some way before or been injured really bad before. She worked with the war veteran who had 2 limbs missing, and I saw what she could do with those guys. She's extremely, you know, talented. She's one of the best dancers on the show, I feel like, and she got to week number 9, I think, with all those contestants, and I don't know, I felt like she could take me the furthest, so that's why I picked her.
How do you feel being that close to semifinals and not getting it?
I felt like I deserved another week on the show. I don't know that I would deserve to be in the finals, but I felt like I made enough progress to make the semifinals, and I don't know, it was disappointing. I didn't really care for the way I went out, for sure.
Yeah. Well, again, you heard the boos in the ballroom. I think that everybody was on board with the fact that they wanted you to stick around. Favorite memory from the competition, even if it was off the dance floor?
I think my favorite memory would be that last trio dance, for sure.
That sexy dance. Why is that your favorite memory, Bonner?
We just had a lot of fun that week practicing, and, you know, it was all innocent and good fun, but, you know, Britt, she's an incredible dancer as well who deserves all the credit in the world, and she's also a really sweet spirit chick, and she has, you know, a beautiful, bubbly personality, and she just made things light that week in the dance studio. Did you think it was too sexy? Absolutely not. There was dances that were 10 times more provocative than ours on the dance floor this season that weren't given half of the hard time that we were given for that dance.
Well, An oil magnate with 2 sexy secretaries. I would have taken.
I'm pretty sure
that was great.
every one of Erica's dances were 10 times sexier than mine. So everyone was fully clothed. The girls, even though they had skirts on, that were a little short, they still had plenty on.
At that point, were you having fun? I mean, were you enjoying the competition?
I had sort of just let all care go out the window by that point after the judges' first critique, and I didn't really care if I made it another week or not, honestly. Even though I wanted to, for the sake of the fans and to continue to push myself, if the fans voted me on, I would have stepped up to it and continued to push onward. But I think after I heard the disrespectfulness come out of those judges' mouths the other night, I didn't really care if I made it another week or not. In fact, I wanted to just throw my mic across the room.
But you didn't. Why didn't you?
Because I have more respect than that. That's for sure.
He's a cowboy, guys. I just want to tell you, fans are going crazy for this thing with you and Normani now, and they're asking if we can Facebook Live your first date. So please,
you know what? If she says yes, that's a promise.
Bonner, you have to have her number. Get your phone.
I
and
know.
text her
In
right
fact,
now.
I wanted to get her number after the dance the other night, but I had to get out of there so fast for the flight to New York because I got kicked off the show.
Wait, you don't have her cell phone number?
I didn't even have a chance to say goodbye to her.
This is painful. He didn't even have a chance to say goodbye? Okay. It's a family. Everybody hangs out every Monday night after the show. You can definitely get her number.
I'll get to see her at the finale for sure.
So you're going to wait till then?
I would like to do it in person if I get to.
God, you're such a gentleman. I can't get over this. Okay, so again, you have Eldorado this weekend. You have Miss USA this weekend. What are you going to be doing at Miss USA? Tell us a little bit more about that.
I'm not sure exactly. I think they have me going behind the scenes to take a look at, I guess, I don't know if they just have me there as a guest or if I get to interview someone, but
you get
I
to
hope
go
so.
Behind the scenes. That is amazing.
We'll see.
I want to ask you one quick question about, there was just something you said during the Most Memorable Year package that stuck out to me, and we'll wrap up here, but I think at one point you said the bull could have finished you off, but he didn't. Do you think about that moment? What do you think was the reason that you are still here, that the bull didn't choose to do that? It was just such a comment that stuck out to me.
Yeah, that's really cool that you bring that up. Not many people do. That bull was definitely known for being really mean and aggressive, and he definitely has run over guys before and just sort of mauled them down if they were in his way. So the fact that he just went straight over the top of me when I was like dead in his sights to just totally do away with. I mean, he could have killed me because my neck was already broke when I hit the ground. I think he sensed maybe that I was already hurt and didn't. I don't know. It's really a miracle. It's something that can't be described.
Do you think somebody was watching over you at that moment?
100%. I believe all of God's angels were with me that day in the arena.
Well, we are so glad to have you here. We were so just, I don't know, overjoyed and touched watching you in this competition. It was such an awesome journey. Is there any message you want to give to the fans who are out there supporting you this whole time and who are
Definitely.
now wanting you to date Normani?
I want to say thank you to every single one of you that voted me on the show from week to week. Even though it was painful, it was worth every bit of the struggle and the pain to know how much I was inspiring or encouraging those of you out there who are broken or facing some kind of hardship or struggle in your life. And I know that I represent those who are broken inside and out. And it's worth all the pain in the world for me to go through if I know it's helping you out there who are going through it too. I'm going through with you.
I love it, you guys. Follow Bonner Fonner. Sorry, I'm blown away by this Normani thing. I can't take it. Follow Bonner on social media. Of course, he will be at Eldorado with PBR this weekend, and they're riding bulls on the Strip, right?
Yep, they're bucking bulls right on the Vegas Strip, right across from MGM.
No big deal. And he will be at Miss USA. That is on Sunday night. Thank you guys so much for being here. Make sure to like ET on Facebook and follow us on YouTube where you can subscribe. Thanks so much for watching, guys. We'll be here next Tuesday with more Dancing with the Stars content. Bye, Bonner.
Thanks for having me.